Hello Orchid friends, welcome back to my channel. Today this video is all about orchid roots, specifically orchid roots in semi-hydroponics setup. So let's get to these orchids one by one. So number one is Phalaenopsis Pulchra. This is a species, and as you can see, it's potted in semi-hydroponic setup. And so far, the root is doing really well. As you can see, new roots are growing inside the pot. But while we're at it, let's also take a look at its root system above the media. There are a couple really fat roots growing. And then you see some root tips growing from older root or regrowing. It stopped and then it started again. A couple of really good roots going, so I'm happy about this one. Number two is Phal Mariae. This is still a relatively young plant, but as you can see, roots are growing inside the pot, so it's adapting really well, and above the media it is definitely growing me some really nice root tips. And this is kind of an interesting root. It stopped growing up until this point, but then recently it started to grow its roots again. So these three, so those three roots there all exhibit the same behavior. They stopped growing at one point, and then boom, they started growing again. And the third one is Phal's Cornucervi, the red variety, crossed with Pantherina. This one overall is doing good, and let's see where. Right there, it has new roots growing inside the media. So that means this one is also responding to semi-hydro really well. And a couple of roots growing on top of the media. And the flower spike is going strong, although there's no buds as of yet. There's no new buds. But I'm happy that its roots are exhibiting signs of adapting to semi-hydro. And this one is Phal telu. So it's Tetraspis crossed with Ludamaniana. And here is where the root is. New root growing into the media, so that's great. On top, let's take a closer look. So there are roots growing, and then I do have two spikes. Growing, one on the left and one on the right. The one on the right is still really small, but the one on the left has been elongating, so that's great. This one is Phalaenopsis Tetraspis. It's still a relatively young plant. It's working on a couple roots above the media, but inside the media, the root tip is starting to come out to the edge of the pot, and so is this one right here. So overall, I think this one is also responding pretty well to semi-hydro. This one is Germaine Vincent. So it's a cross between Violacea and Speciosa. It currently has a spike at the moment, but I want you to see the root. Where is it? Right here. This is also a new roots growing into the media. So this one I know it's responding and adapting very well to semi-hydro. And then this one is also another primary hybrid. This one is actually a Violacea cross with Zebrina. And here is the root that is growing out. No flower spike yet, even though this one looks like a fairly established plant. So I'm hopeful that this one will start to spike in the coming spring or summer. Actually, I really don't know if this one is a winter blooming one or a summer blooming one. Maybe it's summer blooming. We'll see. And this one is my Phalaenopsis Sanderiana. This one is also grown in semi-hydro. And I want you to see the roots here. Again, it's growing new roots into the media, so it's definitely responding very well to this growing method. And I love the roots on top as well. And this one is the Violacea orchid that you may still remember from my previous video. This is the one that I say it hates me or hates semi-hydro, but currently there is a root growing into the media. It's starting to poke out, but then if you also look on the back side here, sorry, it's not very clear through the cup, but essentially it is growing 3 roots. 1 root here, and then 2 other roots on this side. So it's growing okay, but I just wish that there were more roots growing into the media. So there's one here and then another one here. So it's gradually adapting, but I just wish that the leaves would grow larger versus the tiny leaves in the middle. But we'll see. I'll keep you posted on the progress of this one. But above the media though, there are 2 roots on this side and then 2 roots underneath this leaf. Right there. 2 roots under this leaf. So overall, it's growing new roots. It's growing. It's just not growing into the media as much as I'd like, but it's growing. And now this is my Cattleya small rolled. And let's see, it has this new long root here, but you see how inside the pot there are definitely new roots coming down into the media, and this one is just amazing. This root has gone all the way down to the reservoir. The reservoir is, the water is about this high. Here are the holes, and then here are some more new roots. But this one is just amazing. So I know this one is doing definitely well in this setup. So it's really just a matter of time for it to further mature to be able to spike for us or have a sheath for us. Now we have a Corningiana. This is a species. I dropped something on this leaf a while ago, long time ago. So that was my mistake. But it's growing some new roots on top and a new leaf. But look at this, the new root. This one grew and then it stopped, and then now it started growing again, and it has grown into the reservoir. Again, the holes are here, so this section is full of water and it is liking the water. So I know this one is definitely going to be just fine. And now this one is a Dendrobium orchid. Let's take a look at its tag. This is the Dendrobium green lantern. And just look at the roots here. Lots of roots growing inside the media. And some of these roots are actually in the reservoir. So I know this one is also going to be just fine. I know this one will grow to become really tall. But this one right now is still considered a ceiling size. So we'll see how tall it grows, but for now I'm going to keep it in this setup as it's responding pretty well. But the 2 orchids here you're seeing are my Phal mini-marks, Phalaenopsis mini-mark. They are both doing really well. As you can see, the roots are growing, and this one even have grown into the reservoir. And we have a little spike coming out of this mini-mark. As you can see there, that little spike tip coming out. I just noticed it today. That was a nice surprise. So they're definitely doing well. And this one is a rescue. You may remember from my previous video. This one is Oncidium Cherry Baby. It's a rescue for $5, but ever since I put it into semi-hydro, the roots are just growing like crazy. I still need to give it water. Right now the media is almost dry. The pot is almost dry, almost no moisture. So this is when I give it water. And since last watering, I believe it's been almost 2 weeks. But usually the water is completely gone in about a week's time. Maybe 5 days, 5 to 7 days, depending on the humidity. But this one is also doing really well in semi-hydro. And this is the rescue Cherry Baby that's growing strong. And these are my Brassavola Nodosa. And their roots are also doing good. They have grown into the media. And I can see that there are 2 roots on the right and 1 root on the left. That's clearly visible through the media to the edge of the pot. So I'm hopeful that they will continue to grow really well, and hopefully they'll spike soon for me. And lastly, let's take a look at these 2 orchids. I feature them both because they're all exhibiting one behavior that I'm not sure if I should be happy or angry or annoyed. These 2 will receive the mischievous honorable mention, and you'll see why. The one on the left is my purple martin, and the one on the right here is a primary hybrid between Sanderiana and Oncidium. So I believe this one is called Phal Philadelphia. But anyway, it's doing fine. They're both growing new leaves. And the roots here are looking really good as well. But would you look at this? And this one. They both are coming out through one of the drainage holes. So I am not really sure if I should be happy or angry at them. I mean, they grow so well, right? But the thing is, come on, can you just behave? So I'm wondering if I should drill another hole, just allow better drainage. The holes are there to drain the water, but they find their ways coming out of the pot. But they'll continue to grow very tightly, closely to the edge of these pots, because I do put them into another decorative pot, kind of like the ones in the back there. So they'll be growing against this these cups very close. So so they're not really gonna be poking out or anything like that, because they're constantly kept in those blue cups as well. So this is the Phal Philadelphia with mottle leaves. This one is the purple mutton with screw roots on top and inside the media through the holes. It's kind of bittersweet, really. Alright, so this is all I have for you for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And also, please subscribe to my channel if you like to get updates from me. And of course, if you have any questions or any comment, please make your comments below. I would love to hear from you. I wish you happy growing. Please take good care of yourself. And I will talk to you in my next video. Ciao!